Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody's enjoying the second day of bio. Everybody should still be fresh, not tired, worn out at the end of the day yet. Thank you for coming, and today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the economics of CDMO capacity. And if I can operate this correctly, oh, they're awesome. Magic happens. So when you look at CDMO capacity, what is the question on the table? The question on the table is, are you going to go with a traditional fed batch approach to build out your capacity with a standard 2,000 liter bioreactor in a 3, 5, 10 configuration? Do you move beyond single use and you go into stainless steel at 10,000, 20,000 liter bioreactors? And what we would put forward is that really the question is, you should be looking at an advanced bioprocessing technology to really move your capacity into the next generation. And that's where the Enzene platform comes into play. It's a continuous manufacturing technology. It allows you to force multiply your capacity at a much lower investment. We can put multi-ton capacity in for 80 to 90 million versus what you have to spend in a conventional basis, potentially 200, 300, even up to $1 billion, especially if you're looking at stainless steel. Then what does that allow you? In the same space that you were going to put together a traditional fed batch in a 2,000 liter bioreactor, you can have multiple suites, allowing that same footprint to produce multi-ton capacity when you might have only had a 2,000 or a 3 by 2,000 liter bioreactor train that gets you only 7, 14, or 21 kilograms, where you could have a suite that sits on a 1,500 square foot footprint that produces up to 50 kilograms of material. And when you can do that, and you can run that particular 15,000 or 1,500 square foot footprint 9 times a year, you have a facility that now every suite can produce a half a ton at the current technology basis. And then fundamentally, cost of goods, right? We want to be able to have, as a CDMO, what are your fundamental principles? Right first time, on-time delivery. Everybody's talked about it, 10 years going. But the next stage of this evolution is, how do we make healthcare affordable for patient populations around the world? And you can only do that by being able to have cost-effective goods. And with the Enzene platform, where you have a fully connected continuous manufacturing technology, you can drive that down to $40 per gram. That's where we're at the current level of technology. I'll show you in a minute how that technology has evolved and where we're going to head to. So again, when you're looking at what your next step is, or what the next step of a CDMO could be in terms of looking at installed capacity and how you build out that capacity, do you go with a traditional approach? Well, that might take you 2, 3, 4, 6 years to build, install, validate. Or do you take a footprint that's a fraction of that, where you can build it out within 12 months, have it validated within 20 months, operating a commercial process within 2 years. So the generation of the technology, you can talk about the fed batch process, and you can talk about $150 per gram, you can talk about $500 per gram, but if you just take an average and you look at $340 as an accepted cost of goods for a fed batch process, and you look at that in the contrast of what we've been able to bring to the table, our first generation of the fully connected continuous process brought that down to $70 per gram. The second generation of the technology, the 2.0 version that we're on right now, we've been able to drop it to $48 per gram. And what you can see is, you get the benefits of not only a perfusion-based bioreactor, but you get the efficiency of a fully connected downstream process. And that allows you to take advantage of that 90 million, 100 million cells per mil to really enhance your productivity. So when we look at this and how we have developed the technology across a global basis, we have our facility in Pune. It's a multi-suite facility, 3 tons of installed capacity with just 1,000 liter bioreactors that are the equivalent of a 10,000 liter bioreactor. In New Jersey, we put together a 2-suite operation with an investment of $80 million to be able to deliver our fully connected continuous manufacturing technology there as well. Now, what's the next evolution of this? As a CDMO, we want to be able to help solve clients' problems. Well, the other part of it is how do we enable our clients to capitalize on this success? And that's where we're launching the next platform, which is allowing opportunities for folks to take this advanced bioprocessing technology and put it in their footprint. So if they're looking at that next stage of evolution, do I do a 3 by 2 KL, a 5 by 2 KL, a 10,000 liter stainless steel? We'd like you to think about another opportunity. Take an advanced bioprocessing, the most advanced bioprocessing platform in the world, and put it in your facility, put it in your region. You know, we had COVID. Everybody, that was a terrible thing, right? And it made a realization that regionalization of drug supply is of critical importance. And so if you're looking at that drug supply and you're looking at what is the opportunity cost to install a capacity within your region, you're looking at a significant investment if you go a traditional basis. But with the next platform, you can have an installed capacity, 1-ton capacity, $80 million up and running in 24 months. And it's a combination of not only just the platform, we have developed this engagement so that we can support skill development, design of the facility, the platform itself, operations of the facility. So at the end of the day, if somebody is looking at the Enzene X platform and wants to deploy it, they have a fully realized, capable process that can be up and running within 2 years and supported until they're ready to take it over. So what are the numbers that reframe the conversation? It's at 10 times productivity, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that the product quality in a continuous process is much tighter than you have in a fed batch process. And when you're looking at complex biotherapeutics where you have lability and degradation issues that you have to manage and deal with, if you have a continuous process that's taking product off every 8 hours, you have a much enhanced process that gives you a higher productivity for these complex biotherapeutics. $40 per gram. That's where we're at today. Our goal is to be able to drive it down to $10 per gram, and it just is a moderate step change in productivity, a moderate step change in cell separation, and that will be a realization. 12 months. That's how long it takes to build a facility out. Another 8 months and you're validated and you're ready to operate and run. So what does this bring to the table? What are the questions that this brings to the table is, how do you manage a global supply, decentralize that supply, risk mitigate that supply by having multiple suites that are mirror images of each other where you can deploy and distribute your product across the globe, right? If cost of goods is the real access barrier, what technologies are we taking advantage of to deliver that? 20,000 liter bioreactors are great. They did what they were supposed to do. But when you look at installing that 20,000 liter bioreactor, you have a capital investment that is going to cost you. And it also requires an operational rhythm that may not be commensurate with the biologic in question. So if you can take an advanced bioprocessing system that allows you a lot more flexibility in scale, operations, and execution, and also delivers a lower cost of goods, you've enhanced patient access to care. We've already demonstrated that in our parent company in India. Developing cetuximab is one of the products that we originally developed when we were in our early stage. That product has 60% of market share. We have achieved our mission of making accessibility through an advanced bioprocessing technology. There you go. So thank you very much for your time. Look forward to answering any questions that people might have.